Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Been married 18 months, together for 6 years, and I, 28M, think my wife, 27F, is emotionally cheating on me and not actually willing to work on the relationship issues we've been struggling with. Need advice, encouragement, and perspective. Long post, sorry. Advice. TLDR, based on my reading of others' experiences, and various articles, and my own feelings, I am concerned that my wife is emotionally cheating on me. I share examples in the long thread. My therapist and close friends who know the details all think that my wife's behavior is not okay, but I'm struggling with the best way to initiate a conversation with her that will be open and honest and productive. If she is emotionally invested in someone else, I don't think I want to continue being in a relationship with her. But I want her to tell me that so I can have some sort of confidence in making my decision moving forward, because right now I feel like I'm trying to stand still on shaking sands and I'm hurting and it all absolutely sucks. Update: I talked with her about some of this. It didn't go well. I feel worse. Sorry for the long post. I'm happy to answer any questions or provide further details as needed, just ask. So things have been pretty rocky between my wife and I for several months. We had a rough 2020, didn't most of us? But I thought it was more due to the stress of my job, then COVID-19, then she lost her job and my job started getting worse as I felt a stressful anxiety to perform even better as the only income earner at the time. Then she started a new job and we sort of drifted apart. Early this year we had a talk about this where I expressed my sadness that we are so distant and haven't connected in a long time. We haven't been physically intimate in nearly all this time. In early April I commenced individual therapy and it has really helped me process my thoughts and feelings, and I've been actively trying to share those with my wife and be confident in being vulnerable and honest and genuine. She told me, however, that she feels like she is smothered and overwhelmed and needs space, which I have tried to respect and give to her. Through all of this, though, she's indicated that she does want to work on improving things with me and getting to a place where we can both be happy. So I've had hope that if I keep trying and putting in effort, things will move toward a better place. It hasn't. I don't know if anything I'm doing is helping or hurting. Giving space, trying to be more supportive of her, not trying to be controlling or restrictive, she still seems so far away. I find myself holding back things I'd normally be excited to tell her about because she gives off a vibe that I annoy and distract and bother her. I brought this up to her and how I felt like she's not putting in much effort from my point of view, and that I don't think there's a way to improve our relationship without actually spending time together talking about it and addressing it. She indicated that she had been trying and putting in effort for the past year and felt like I was the one who wasn't doing anything, and now she's kinda burnt out. I apologized and said I can't change what I did or did not do in the past, but I'm ready and willing and trying hard to fix things now, but I need her help too. She didn't have much to say to that. And because of the distance between us, I've started to notice how close she has gotten with a co-worker of hers. A single guy, about my age. They see each other every day, go out to lunch almost every day, sometimes just the two of them, sometimes with others. My wife frequently stays late at work and, though not confirmed to me, I'm pretty sure he's always there too. They go out for drinks with co-workers and have attended soccer games together, just the two of them, and then gone out to bars, and I know they've gone over to his place till after midnight as well. This all makes me feel super uneasy and hurt. My wife doesn't do any of this with me. In fact, it seems like a chore to her to have to spend time with me. But she willingly and gleefully seems to adore being around this guy. I'll call him Mark for ease of reference. This has been happening since like early March at least. I didn't bring anything up then because she even mentioned to me that she didn't want to make me sad by hanging out with Mark, but that he's a good guy and had never tried anything. Things were starting to get rocky between me and her, and I wasn't confident enough to assert myself. I didn't want to feel like the jealous boyfriend type and tell her she can't be friends with a guy. Well, as things have deteriorated between us and I've observed her talking to him and spending what seems like most of her time with him, it's been hurting me more and more. I told her last week that they are making me uncomfortable. She asked, well, what do you want me to do about it? And I felt very strongly that she should be the one to decide what she wants to do with the information I give to her about my feelings on her closeness with Mark. She never suggested anything, just said that I can put my mind at ease about that, and it kinda tapered off into her accusing me of not trusting her. I told her that I do trust her to not do anything physical with him, but that I do not trust Mark because I don't know him. She seemed taken aback by that. After I told my wife that I was uncomfortable with her and Mark being together so much and their friendship or whatever it is, I felt very strongly that I shouldn't tell her what to do or anything. I didn't want her to feel controlled by me, but she also didn't propose anything to resolve this herself. The next few days I did notice she was at home more often and didn't go out for her usual drinks and happy hour with co-workers, which usually resulted in her spending extra time afterwards with Mark. I could tell she was sad and really down, and I ended up telling her that I want her to be happy and do what makes her happy, and I worry that she basically took that to mean that she should continue doing whatever she's doing with Mark regardless of my feelings. I've spoken with my therapist about my feelings on this and what I'm wary about and what is giving me pause and anxiety about my wife's friendship with her co-worker. I told my therapist about how it makes me uncomfortable that my wife and Mark see each other all the time. That she chooses actively to spend more time with Mark than me. That she seems to constantly be texting him. I've seen her sitting on the other couch near me, texting him long threads or continually chatting when I am lucky when she sends me 3 texts during the day. That she has on several occasions gone out drinking with him and then went over to his place and didn't get home until around 2 a.m. when he drove her home. That just last weekend she brought our dog over while she went out with some girlfriends and had Mark dog sit while I was out of town and didn't even tell me about that until after the fact. That she seems to be happier when she comes back from hanging out with him or when she's talking him. That reminds me of how she seemed and acted when we were first dating and getting to know each other, and that crushes me. I just have really weird gut feelings about the whole thing. From my perspective, which is the only one I have since she won't talk to me about this, I feel like lines have been crossed that should not be in a marriage. In fairness to her, maybe she doesn't think any boundaries have been broken. Or maybe she is towing the line and it's only a matter of time until stuff gets physical. I told my therapist that it hurt me when I explicitly told my wife last Sunday that her closeness with him is making me uncomfortable and uneasy. She immediately responded with, well, we are just friends, so you can put your mind at ease about that. And then immediately shifted the conversation to, well, what do you want me to do about it? He's one of the few things that have brought me happiness and support lately, which absolutely crushed me. It doesn't feel to me like they are just friends, and I can't shake the weird feeling. And it makes me feel so bad and guilty to feel like this, because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and not assume the worst, but also I feel like my feelings are valid and deserve to be respected too. Anyway, after I told her that I want her to be happy and do what makes her happy, this past Saturday night she went to a co-worker's wedding with a big group. This has been planned for a while. It was a small wedding, and I didn't go. Mark was there. They all got super drunk together, and then a DD brought her home at 1 a.m. and she was absolutely wasted, and while I was helping get her into bed and making sure she'd be okay, she just kept repeating over and over, "How's Mark? Is Mark okay? Did Mark get home?" And I said, "I'm sure he's fine. I don't have his number, you can find out tomorrow." Then she goes, "I know his number," and started saying my number. That hurt. Then she kept asking about how he was doing and if he was okay until she fell asleep. Now, a couple days out of that moment and still processing it, I feel even more like she's totally lost feelings and attraction for me, and that she's not just friends with this guy but is more emotionally invested in him than she's willing to let on or maybe even admit to herself. It's really hurting me and I can't get it out of my head and my mind keeps wandering and assuming things, and I really want to have a real honest conversation about this with her, but I'm nervous that it's going to come out as accusatory and interrogative on my part and make her super defensive and dismissive from the get-go, and I get all hung up that I already shut the door on this issue and shouldn't rehash it with her because I already brought up that I'm uncomfortable with their dynamic, and then a few days later told her I just want her to be happy and do what makes her happy. I'm constantly hurting. There's a pit in my stomach. I don't have an appetite. I'm not sleeping. I'm losing weight. I can't focus or concentrate. I worry all the time about if she's flirting with him or texting him sexual stuff or hugging him or if they cuddle when they're together, all things she doesn't do with me. I get angry because he's a single dude who also actively chooses to spend all his time with a married woman. What's in it for him? And then I feel guilty about feeling all this stuff. Anyway, I'd love some advice. I just want this hurt to stop. I want her to be honest with me. If she's done with us, then tell me. If she would rather be with him, then tell me. If she's emotionally cheating, I want her to know that, own it, and understand how it's hurting me. How can I broach this subject with her? Should I? How can I get some answers and definitions about the dynamic between her and Mark, but not in an accusatory/interrogative way? Is she emotionally cheating on me? How should I confront this? My therapist didn't really have suggestions for me beyond yes, you should have this conversation and you should firmly know going into what your boundaries for a married relationship, even one that's rocky, are and what is and is not okay for your partner to do. I've confided in several close friends and my sister about the details I shared here, and every single one of them thought it was ducked up, even for my wife to be doing in a marriage where everything was okay. That makes me feel a bit more validated, but I still don't know the best way to go about initiating this conversation and having it be an open and honest discussion where my thoughts and feelings can be heard and where she doesn't immediately feel defensive and defective. Please help. I welcome any and all advice, comments, thoughts. And please be blunt. Feel free to DM as well. This is going to be hard to swallow, but reading through your whole post, I think it's more than emotionally cheating, and I think it's probably got physical. A large part of your story I have lived through. For the last 18 months I feared my wife was getting too attached to a male friend. At worst I thought she was emotionally cheating. We grew apart, I voiced my concerns to be told I've got nothing to worry about, I'm jealous, asking me if she is not allowed male friend etc. The truth was much worse, and she had been sleeping with him, been told only on one occasion, but I think that is a lie as I only have proof of one night. It started off with Snapchat and I found out they had messaged each other every day for over a year, was told he was just a friend. I told her how uncomfortable I was with it and she did stop messaging him, I think. Then I said, look, if he is just a friend that's okay, I don't want to dictate who you talk to. Big mistake, and it then led to them falling for each other and ultimately sleeping with each other. Pensive face. The way she is reacting to you, the stuff she is doing and saying are all major red flags. I'm sorry you are going through this, and I know exactly how that awful feeling in the pit of your stomach is right now. If you want to chat and share thoughts or whatever, just PM me. Edit, if you sit down and talk about the subject again, do not expect her to suddenly admit anything. Without knowing you have proof 99 times out of 100 she will not own up to anything. Op's story and yours sounds just like mine. My divorce was finalized last September. Edit to add, even with proof, prepare for gaslighting. Op, my best advice to you, start working on hobbies, new and old alike, and exercising. Both will help you through the next few years. I agree with you 100%. This is not normal behavior. It sounds 100% like cheating to me as well. I would not put up with any of this behavior, especially the going to his place and other things. Everything she is saying and doing screams she is cheating and checked out of the marriage. The same thing happened to me, and while the timeline is different, I was told similar things. What I've learned is to always trust your gut feeling. That said, she is being manipulative and gaslighting you. You have already done all of the right things, including expressing your concerns about Mark. She dismissed you and turned it around to make it seem like you're at fault. The too clingy but killed me too. I'd the whole story, what your marriage was like before, your past, her past, what caused the initial divide in your relationship, but it sounds like you've done everything right. This is in her and has been for a while. Also, I would be surprised if it was just an emotional affair. I'm sorry to hear you went through something similar. It sucks so much. I do want to talk to her about it. I want to be clear that I do not feel like it is okay what she's doing. But I also don't necessarily have proof, only my own feelings, perception, and the thoughts and opinions of outside observers who I've told my side to. Any advice there? She openly spends nights at his place drinking until 2 a.m., goes on lunch dates almost daily, and is in constant communication with the guy. And you're looking for proof? Ask yourself how your wife acted when she was dating you. I bet it looked exactly like this. And what was she doing with you at 2 a.m.? That's what she's doing with him. Give your head a shake and get it in the game here, man. This. Imagine you are an alien just visiting Earth for the first time, asking a normal human to describe dating and a relationship. The human would describe to you exactly what your wayward is doing with this friend. Your wife is dating this man, lunches, group outings, 121 dates, cozy evenings together, drunken evenings until 2 a.m. Do you think he's introduced her to his parents yet? Wake up. No shit. The only thing I can offer is to listen to everything you are being told in these replies, was I feel that is the only truth you are going to be told. I created a post on a throwaway account so my wife didn't see it, similar to yours back in March when I had similar feelings to you. Everyone told me what I didn't want to believe, turns out they were right. Without proof she will not admit to anything. If she felt any guilt or regret she would have stopped this affair already. By continuing and disregarding your feelings says to me she will not be honest when you speak to her. Even when I confronted my wife, she only admitted to stuff she knew I already had proof on. She carried on lying about other stuff until I found more proof. The only difference between my wife and yours is I was led to believe she was at work doing a night shift when in fact she was with this guy. Proof literally does not matter. I know we obsess over it, but you've known this woman for years. You can detect when her mood or treatment of you or your relationship has changed. What people look for in proof is the strength to act on what they already know. If your partner doesn't even want to work on things, what do you get from proof besides depression and trauma? Proof? What the hell do you think a married woman being alone in another man's house until 2 a.m. is a rumor? I simply don't get these married people developing close friendships with other people where they virtually have a second life going on. My wife would take her reporting people out to dinner quarterly as a team building event and nobody went over to anyone else's house after the meal and a couple of drinks. What is this shit? Your wife is stopping Mark. Do you need friggin' videos? Update after post emotional affair. Wife still denying anything, expressing zero remorse or acknowledgement of my feelings. Update original post here, been married for 18 months, together for 6 years, and I, 28M, think my wife, 27F, is emotionally cheating on me. This goes against what many people here have said about me not engaging with her. She could tell something was up with me and kept asking what was going on and what's bothering me. I finally broke and talked to her. I mentioned my specific concerns and told her that what's been happening is not okay and that it feels like lines and boundaries are being crossed. She seemed unfazed. She seemed offended that I would even think that something inappropriate was going on. She denied that they have been physical together. She said I've only been out till 2 a.m. with him twice. Yeah, well that's too many times for me, I said. She seemed to refuse to even attempt to see it from my point of view, or an outside perspective. It's telling to me that so many other people could recognize that, maybe even texting a co-worker so much and worrying about his well-being after the drinking was crossing a line. My wife seems to refuse to believe that she's crossing lines. She refused to acknowledge that maybe what she's doing is wrong or actually hurtful. He's like my best friend right now. Yeah, well, why can't I be that? I'm your husband. I know things are rocky and weird with us right now, but I'm trying to work on things and I can't help but feel there's stuff you're not telling me. All I want is for her to accept some responsibility and remorse. She kept saying, "What do you want me to do?" She kept pointing out that they really haven't been together too much or stayed out late more than twice. It just feels like we got nowhere. When I spoke with her and told her how hurt and uncomfortable her behavior with Mark is making me, she seemed unfazed. Her first reaction, rather than being sorry or concerned that I'm being hurt, was to say, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" I shouldn't have to walk her through this. She's a very intelligent person. She should be able to see that maybe there's even just a slight chance that what she's doing would look bad to anyone looking from the outside in. She's blinded by whatever she's feeling and doing. She kept deflecting. I told her it made me uncomfortable that she was out till 2 a.m. drunk with him, that it was weird. She said, "Well, that's only happened twice." She noted that they've only been to 3 soccer game dates together. That doesn't matter to me. The amount of times doesn't matter. What matters is that now she knows how it is hurting me and that I told her I am not going to put up with it anymore. She should proceed accordingly. I told her that I want to be happy and I want to be with someone who makes me happy. I said I want her to be with someone she wants to be with also, and I don't want either of us to have to feel forced or like every day we have to try to conjure up feelings for the other person. She told me she loves me and wants to be with me. It felt hollow. I told her she seems completely emotionally invested in him and that there's no more room for me. I told her I feel like a roommate who sits around while she dates Mark. She kept saying we're just friends and I'm not even with him all that much. She denied any physical intimacy between them. She said that other co-workers have asked her if anything is going on between her and Mark. I asked her what does "is anything going on" mean to her? She couldn't spell it out. I told her that I find it incredibly hard to believe that Mark, a single guy my age, has anything to gain from being just friends with a married woman. I told her that no matter how good of a guy she thinks he is, he has certainly had the thought crossed his mind of what if? She denied that they talk about their feelings for each other. I don't believe it. I told her that if he knows about our marriage issues, then it makes it even more suspicious that he continues to hang around. It's like he's just waiting for the off chance we do break up so he can have her with no strings. I can't shake the feeling that she's lying to me. Something more has to be going on and she is trickle-truthing me. I feel gaslit. I feel crazy that I'm feeling so bothered and anxious by all this. I wish she'd show some ducking remorse or own up to it. I told her how I sat on telling her my true feelings about this for so long because I was being too considerate of her feelings and neglecting my own, but that I needed to protect myself going forward. I told her we need to tell each other the hard stuff that might hurt the other person and be ready to do so. I mentioned that I want to be open and honest and vulnerable with her and would expect the same from her. Even if she thinks it'll hurt me or I can't handle it, I want her to tell me. I am not going to talk to her about this again. There's no point. She seems unwilling to accept that she's in the wrong here and very plainly hurting a person she claims to love. I know I'm being naive and stupid and will get tons of comments telling me similarly, but I am struggling so hard to get my head and heart around the idea of snooping into her phone. Honestly, I've been curious. But despite the heartbreak she's causing me, it's really hard for me to pull the trigger on that. And even if I did and even if I found something damning, I think I'd have an even more difficult time figuring out how to best confront her with that information. I feel so down on myself that I feel this way. That I feel so stuck. That I've let myself get to this position. I can't stop thinking where I screwed up along the way. What's wrong with me? What can I change? How can I change? Why is this happening? I am so tired of all of this. She said that other co-workers have asked her if anything is going on between her and Mark. You realize what is going on, her co-workers realize what is going on, and she knows what is going on. But she is not ready to give him up, so she tells you and all the co-workers that you all are wrong and that it is harmless. But you and all the co-workers have eyes that see what is happening, you all know what is going on. You can change yourself as much as you want and it won't change her desire to stay close to Mark. She has made her decision, sticks to it and defends it. What you can do is to either accept that she will stay in close contact with her lover or you move on. That is the only decision you can make. Sorry that you are in that position. She's going to look back at this time in her life and be mortified. Imagine having such a public affair that people you work with are alarmed and tactfully telling you to cut the shit. Goodbye promotions, goodbye respect. She probably thinks it's fun, but she's definitely the talk at her job. The dude she's screwing is so low as to sleep with a married woman too. They sound perfect for each other. This marriage isn't salvageable. You sound like a good man. You tried, you really did. It's time to start consulting a lawyer. This was key for me. People can be paranoid and controlling and we only get to hear your version of the events, but even her co-workers can tell that her behavior is not appropriate and yet she refuses to admit that she might be getting too close. Once again, I don't know if she is cheating or not, but she can't even admit what is a fact, that she is neglecting the relationship for the sake of spending time with this friend. Honestly, I know she is cheating. The op may not want to believe it's physical, but everyone else knows and believes it's physical. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. Already after 16 months of marriage? It seems like the op is trying to be as open, rational, and willing to fix anything, if she would just tell him something is wrong. Why did she not tell him when she first realized she had feelings for Mark? Why do this to someone she vowed to love, honor, and respect? Is she psychopathic and without a conscience? Or sociopathic? I guess he doesn't know people well enough at her work for them to call him and say they think something is going on. This poor man. My heart really breaks for him because I see so much of myself and my past situation in him. Persevering face. Bro, please. At his house until 2 a.m. drinking and watching Netflix? There is no way Mark didn't get what he wanted. If he didn't, he would have already moved on. The prick is a predator and is enjoying ruining a colleague in the legal community, just for kicks. He is getting what he wants and it's not an emotional bond. Thank you. I'm devastated by what my wife is doing, but absolutely furious at what Mark is doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And my guess is my wife goes crying and complaining to him about all the bullshit I am doing, and he sits there and listens and says, "Oh, that's awful, I'm here for you, you can talk to me about anything, let's go get ice cream and talk it out," and then they end up watching a movie so he can comfort her more. Ducking evil. Your wife is not a damsel in distress. She is cheating because she wanted to. Period. Even now she knows what she's doing is wrong. Knows she is hurting you and doesn't care, knows her co-workers know and doesn't care, and it's all because she prioritizes her pleasure over the safety of her family and partner. Yes, he is scum. But so is she. At least she is acting like it now. She knows what she's doing and intends to keep doing it because she's selfish. It's not a reflection of you or what you did or didn't provide. She will tell herself that to justify what she has done, but the truth is it is her lack of character that led to this. I hope you're able to move forward towards getting out of infidelity, because she will continue doing what she wants at your expense. I read somewhere that once you are feeling you are being avoided by someone, you should never disturb them again. Your wife is avoiding how you feel. Stop disturbing her, and in love let her go and wish her well. Sometimes the only way to growth is to let go. This is a beautiful way to put it. Thank you. I keep cycling through feelings of sadness, anger, and then back to love. I love her and care for her, and I want her to be happy. If she's not happy with me, and if she's in love with someone else, I'd rather her go be with who she wants. I don't want her to feel stuck in a relationship she doesn't want. Update number 2, we talked. She confessed that she's in love with someone else. I told her it's over. Hardest thing I've ever done. Update original post here, been married for 18 months, together for 6 years, and I, 28M, think my wife, 27F, is emotionally cheating on me. Update number 1, wife still denying, expressing zero remorse or acknowledgement of my feelings. I told her I know about her and Mark. I told her that I don't want to do this anymore and that I want her to be happy and do what makes her happy, but if that includes being with Mark, then I don't want to continue to be together. I told her we should go our separate ways. I told her I don't want to be in a marriage with a woman who isn't in love with me and isn't happy with me. She cried and confessed that she and Mark do have feelings for each other, but she is adamant that it's progressed to nothing physical. I told her that regardless, I don't feel that we can continue how things are and that we should separate. I threw out the D word several times and she got super upset and emotional, saying that I'd already made up my mind without her and wasn't even discussing it. I told her that she had made up her mind to pursue those feelings with Mark and did nothing to stop it back then. That put her on edge too. She told me I was being mean, and not understanding. I told her that I can understand her losing feelings for me and falling in love with someone else, but that I don't have to accept an EA and I wasn't going to put up with this anymore. Then she started begging, crying, saying that it seems like a rash, drastic decision to divorce and that we should try just an actual separating first. I said, I don't know what that will do for us. You'll just go off with Mark, right? She didn't really answer. She maintained that she doesn't want to jump straight to divorce. I maintained that I see no other option at this point. Even marriage counseling in my view wouldn't work. Because of work obligations, I can't just leave. But I booked a flight to go stay with my family this weekend. I cannot describe the immense relief I felt when I told her we should proceed to get divorced. The other good feeling I had was basically realizing that she's made a choice. She's picking him. By not outright saying she'll cut things off completely with him, she's made a choice. I don't want to be with someone who won't choose me. Edit, for everyone concerned about the process of me moving forward with the divorce. Our finances are already separated and we have very little marital property under the law. The biggest dispute will be over our dog. I am in a no-fault divorce state and the 60-day separation requirement before the divorce can be finalized is already met, as we have been living under the same roof without sexual cohabitation for over 60 days. I don't foresee this being too procedurally or financially difficult. Emotionally and mentally, for sure. Then she started begging, crying, saying that it seems like a rash, drastic decision to divorce and that we should try just an actual separation first. I said, I don't know what that will do for us. You'll just go off with Mark, right? She didn't really answer. She maintained that she doesn't want to jump straight to divorce. As bad as this is, it kinda sounds like she wants space to explore if Mark is the better option, before she commits to divorce. She wants to pause you, and keep you as plan B, broken heart, victory hand. Exactly what it sounds like to me too. She's a monkey and she tried to grab another branch. Op just cut the support line LOL. Yeah, she's not sure if Mark is as great as she thinks he is, so she wants Op to wait while she goes and tests him out and weighs her options. Meanwhile, she wants the benefit of clear and easy financial security. That's so cruel. Op, you're making the right decision. Because at the end of the day, this other guy is just another guy. He's no unicorn and she will eventually realize that and want to go back. But by then you will be left a hollowed out shell of yourself. Don't let her take any more from you. Mark may not actually even want her. She was a married, fun, no strings attached chick willing to cheat on her husband. He enjoyed being that guy and it was easy. He'll probably just dump her and prey on other married women in the office, or otherwise. Cue the crying, remorseful ex trying to crawl her way back to plan B with the "it was a mistake" card. Congrats/you/cheesecake OK 9239 for being decisive and taking back control. I know it was, and is, hard on you. But you're doing exactly what it takes to get out of infidelity. The emotional roller coaster will subside with time. All this garbage is on her. You might want to read Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life by Tracy Shawn. Amen. Exactly. She's treating Op as if he is some toy she can shelve and come back to if things don't work out. She seems to think Op doesn't have thoughts and feelings. That, or she thinks only her feelings matter. Not really surprised she feels that way, her previous actions show how self-centered she is. The fact that she thinks she has a right to do this and that he doesn't have a right to not be treated this way, oh so unfair, is just another example of this. Yeah, duck that bullshit. She's Mark's problem now. No contact except through the attorneys. This 100%. The wench actually thinks she can pause you. Man, whoever said that cheaters feel entitled was correct. It's so insane. These people are scum. She sounds like a sick person. Not sure if she's sick, but she's definitely a cake eater. Op is wise to divorce her. She doesn't want to jump to divorce because she hasn't been able to create the narrative among friends and family that Op is a bad husband. Heaven forbid, some of them might think she has caused the marriage to fail. He should start separating their finances if he hasn't already. I wish him luck. The interesting thing is that the majority of spouses who end up choosing their APs are still living in the fog where everything is seen through rose-colored glasses. Once the BS cuts free of the WS and the AP and WS now have to deal with the everyday mundane and emotional needs of each other, which for the WS were, for the most part, met by the BS, they get a reality check and quick. Their fantasy world is over and now they have to deal with real life. Their relationship usually doesn't last more than a couple of months. Op, don't be surprised if your STBXW comes crawling back on her knees begging for forgiveness and to be taken back. Stand tall and don't let her back in. Sounds like she's got her own issues of unfulfillment and is trying to use Mark to resolve those. It won't work as she needs to resolve herself first. Bingo. She wants to make sure she's making the right decision before letting go. As usual, you hit it out of the park, thumbs up. This. Honestly, you showed your character and she showed hers. You came out on top even if it doesn't feel like it. Remember this moment for the times when you feel low, and they will come. Definitely the right call to not just separate. That just puts your life on hold while she bangs the Mark. She wanted you as a safety net while she continued her affair. I'm happy to hear you didn't play the pick-me dance. You're making the right decision. Part of me thinks this is purely image protection. Separation then divorce is a better look than straight divorced. Exactly. Op's wife wants to shape a story where her abusive, jealous, crazy husband left her out of nowhere, and if not for her knight in shining armor, Mark, she would have been destroyed. They can then ride off into the sunset together while all of her friends and family celebrate this love for the ages with minstrels and bards singing their praise. It's gonna be some shit show when something similar to this takes place. Cheating wife, Mark. Op asked for a divorce, now we can be together forever. I'll be here every day with you, we'll wake up together, fall asleep together, share our bills and get married. I'm so excited. Mark, record scratch www what? He's LLLL leaving you? I thought you said he was a sap that has no idea what we're doing over here and too weak to face it. Cheating wife, well, he doesn't want to share me with you. He asked me to cut ties, but I just can't because May feels. Mark, sweating profusely I have to work late tonight. Maybe we can talk about this tomorrow or next month or something? I really have a lot on my plate right now and maybe we should cool this off a bit. Cheating wife, record scratch I think I love my husband again for now. Op, tell her family you are divorcing and tell them exactly why you are divorcing. Don't let these snakes paint a rosy picture at your expense. Dude, That was a perfect encapsulation of what has transpired. Funny. She's having an affair and destroys your marriage. You file for divorce. Wife, you're being mean. The affair fog is deep with this one. Stay strong. It's hard to feel bad for you when you have such clarity for a 28-year-old. Most would say, she didn't say she loved Mark. I can work that angle, yay? Nope. You saw through that bull. You saw through all the bull. In fact, you understood so much from what she said and did and what she did not say and did not do. I hoped all my clients are that clear and understood themselves more. You are a definition of a high-value man. Integrity, dignity, respect, honesty, loyalty, faithfulness, self-understanding, boundaries. You know what all these qualities attract? High-value women. Not saying you do not have these qualities because you married a low-quality person. It just means you didn't exercise them back then. That's what it means to improve as a person, isn't it? And sure as hell you improved. You goddamn survived and now you shall thrive. God damn it, I needed this comment today. Been feeling so down on myself and so terrible lately. Thanks for helping me feel better about myself. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.